to story time with Katina and Sven. I have asked him not to move, so if you do see him move, please do let me know, because there will be consequences. I have warned him. He did promise. Today's story, if you're sitting comfortably, is Cinderella. Now, Cinderella is a very good girl, and she lives with her stepmom and her stepsisters. Now, her stepsisters are known as her ugly stepsisters. Cinderella works really hard in the house to keep it clean and tidy. And her stepsisters, they just make a mess. They don't actually do anything to help clear up at all. And the stepmom just lets them. It's really not nice at all. The stepsisters, Maria and Hilda, are getting excited because every lady in Cardigan has been invited to a ball. And at the ball, the prince will be there, like an actual real life prince. And they're very excited about meeting him. Now, Cinderella can't go to the ball. She's got work to do and she's got no dress, no shoes. She actually looks really stunning. She's one of those, you know, she could go in the dress she's in, but she'd like to make an effort like everyone else is. Cinderella is so kind that she goes on the night of the ball and helps Maria and Hilda to get ready. The prince will like us, they say. He'll want to dance with us. Now, here's the thing. Cinderella's ugly stepsisters didn't look ugly, whatever that actually means. They were ugly because they were such horrible girls. They never helped anyone. They weren't nice to anyone. And at piano lessons, they used to argue with the piano teacher. I know, right? So if their piano teacher said to do something, they'd actually say no and disagree and things. Now, Cinderella used to just practice a little bit every day, and she was brilliant at piano because of this, you see. So they looked nice. They didn't act nice. They were ugly. The ugly stepsisters, Maria and Hilda, go off to the ball. Cinderella is now, she's just so sad, but she thinks, okay, I can't go, might as well get on with it. She puts heart radio on and she cracks on with some work. Suddenly, the radio gets a little bit crackly, and as she looks up, she sees this bright light. Then she realises it's her fairy godmother. Do you want to go to the ball, Cinderella? I can't go, says Cinderella. I have no dress, no shoes. I can't go in this dress. It's stinking. I haven't washed it in 2 weeks. I mean, I really, really honk. I smell ripe. Let me help you, says the fairy godmother. I will give you all the things you want. Go and fetch me a big pumpkin from the garden. Cinderella's a good girl and does as she's told. So she goes, fetches the pumpkin. Fairy godmother turns it, in one swish of her wand, into a golden coach. It is gorgeous. It's so much nicer than a Volvo V70. It'll take a cello easily, and it's really economical on fuel because it uses horsepower. So the fairy godmother says, go and get me some mice, please. Cinderella fetches the mice, and the fairy godmother turns them into 4 huge, really stunning horses. I want a rat, please. Ugh. Cinderella fetches a rat, although she's not keen to doing that, you know. I like pet rats, but not the ones that run around in the garden. But the fairy godmother has a plan. She turns it into a coachman, and he's wearing a lovely red jacket. Very smart. The fairy godmother asks for 2 lizards, and she turns those into footmen to help Cinderella in and out of her coach like royalty. Next, the fairy godmother waves her wand around and around and around, and sparks fly, and suddenly Cinderella isn't in her stinking dress anymore. She's in a stunning ball gown. Her hair's tidy and she looks absolutely wonderful. The fairy godmother then hands Cinderella some shoes. You can go to the ball now. The prince will see you and you might actually end up with a husband. The strange thing is, the shoes are made of glass. As Cinderella pops them onto her feet though, she realises they're actually really, really comfortable. I wouldn't have thought glass slippers were that comfortable, but apparently they are. As Cinderella rides off, the fairy godmother calls, "Make sure you're home by midnight, Cinderella, or the magic will all be reversed." So Cinderella rides off and thinks to herself, okay, I've got ages, it's only 8 o'clock, I'll be done in time. Cinderella arrives at the ball and she sees the Prince of Cardigan. Now, the prince takes one look at her and he goes, well, that's the girl for me. I want a bit of that. They dance all night. Cinderella doesn't even remember if she even sees her stepsisters. Bit risky, I know, but you know, she just doesn't know if she saw them. I think she was so in love. Anyway, the next thing you know, the clock starts dinging for midnight. I have to go, shouts Cinderella. And she literally just legs it out of the ball, like running. And she runs, her shoe flies off. And one of them stays on the stairs. She runs down, jumps in the coach, and it shoots out of there, getting her close to home as she can get. By the time she gets home, though, the pumpkin is a pumpkin, the mice, the rat, the lizards, they are all back to their normal selves, and Cinderella is on foot, running back to the house before her ugly stepsisters and everyone get back from the ball. Meanwhile, back at the castle, because the ball was in Cardigan Castle, the prince sees Cinderella's shoe sitting there. Oh, I think I'll keep this shoe, he says. I'm going to find her, right? Whoever's foot this fits, then that's my bird, innit? The next day, he goes round all the houses in Cardigan and Kilgerran, Pennerbryn, Rose Hill, and up the other way, so you've got Penbryn. He even goes up as far as Aberaeron, Aberporth, all of it, right? So he's getting every single lady to try on the shoe. Whoever it fits will be his bride. Eventually, he gets to Cinderella, Maria and Hilda's house. Cinderella's sisters try the shoe on first. It really doesn't fit at all, even though they shout and like try and claim that it does. But no, Maria's got massive feet, so she just about fits a big toe in, and her feet smell like Quaver crisps as well. Ugh, really not cool. Cinderella comes in and the prince sees her and he thinks, well, she looks familiar, but she's absolutely stinking. I can stink her from you, man. Oh, vile. Because I did say all girls, didn't I? So Cinderella tries the shoe on. It fits! How can it be you? You're stinking, says the prince. Cinderella says, I don't smell, I promise you. It's just my dress. My ugly sisters won't let me wash my dress. I have to keep wearing it and it really does pong of BO. I'm really sorry. The prince says, don't worry, but come back to the castle with me. They go back. He gets her dress sent off to the laundrette, but he also pops out into the shops, you know, up to Peacock's and buys her some new clothes. Here, will you marry me then? Says the prince to Cinderella. Oh, of course I will. And at that moment, the fairy godmother appears. She puts a spell on Maria and Hilda and turns them into really nice people, and they never argue with their piano teacher again, like ever, and they practice every day and they get really good too. The prince and Cinderella get happy in Cardigan Castle, and they had like a really nice reception there as well. And basically everyone lives happily ever after.